Broadcasting from Villain Crusher Studios, I'm Tom Terrific, and this is the Villain Crusher, where we feature entrepreneurs and investors who change the world. But before we meet our first guest, let's go to the superhero thought of the day. As you recall, Spider-Man's uncle, Ben, was mortally wounded by a criminal, and as he lay in the street, he brought Peter Parker in closer, knowing that he was Spider-Man, and said, "With great power comes great responsibility." So today, if you have responsibility over others, know that you have a commitment to take care of others in your life. So on that note, let's meet our first guest. He is someone who is got an incredible product that is going to allow people to walk the web. He is the innovative founder and CEO of WalkTheWeb 3D browsing. Please welcome Dr. Aaron Dishno. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show, Tom.
Well, it's my pleasure. Why don't we start this way? Could you tell us a little bit about your background and how that's kind of led you to where you are now?
Well, for the past 11 years, I was the webmaster for the county of San Bernardino. So I worked with servers, and I spent a lot of time working with the server management groups and obviously programming. And then I went out and decided I was going to get a doctorate in education, because I always liked teaching computers and teaching algebra. And put those thoughts together. One night about 8 years ago, I had a dream in the middle of the night that sparked a whole revolution, as you could put it, for WalkTheWeb. And that was, I designed a way that we could create every website on the internet, turn it into actual 3D by making the buildings themselves individual 3D websites. And as you walk towards them, the website loads, and as you walk away from them, the website disappears in the background. Wow. So it truly is walking the web.
Now,
please.
No, I was just going to say, you and I were chatting earlier, and you were telling me that before you even started on this, you were motivated by some events in your life. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Well, working at the county, day to day, and then all of a sudden there was the shooting back in San Bernardino. I worked in a different department, different building, but everybody was affected by that day. And then I have a mother-in-law who was fighting ALS, and when all these things started happening, all of a sudden I realized I've got to go after my dream. I can't wait another minute. It's time. Life is too short. If I want to accomplish what I want to do, I have to stop working at the county. I have to go do this full time. And I've been plugging along straight every single day since then.
Wow. Tell us a little bit about how's the journey been so far? I think you told me you've done this about 2 years now.
Yes, for about 2 years. And first of all, I have a very supportive wife, Karen, who's a special education teacher for 22 years. And so, of course, I'm probably one of her best students. But at the same time, I have a supportive family between my parents and everybody else jumping on board. And we've just gone a long ways. I cashed in my retirement. I moved forward with the business. I've had friends and family that have come forward, and so far today we've raised $220,000 to create the prototype that we have today, and we're continuing to move forward.
Well, as they say, you've burned the boats in the harbor. You're all in, and that's what it takes for entrepreneurs to succeed, is that passion that you will do anything to bring this product to market. Can you tell us a little bit more of how it actually works and how it's going to be applied?
Okay, first of all, WalkTheWeb is a toolkit. It's a website, and it's designed to allow everyone to create their own websites. We have templates, so you can go in there in less than 5 minutes and have a 3D store up and running and have everybody go 3D shopping. Wow. You can also use templates to create an office building and show off your business or different things. But the idea is we are blurring the lines between games and businesses. We allow you can walk next door, play a round of golf, and then walk into a business and buy something next door to each other. So we're bringing in the entertainment, we're bringing in the whole everybody to do this. Well, then came up with an idea, as I talk about this, seamlessly connecting different websites where you can walk from one to the next. I started coming up with a concept that technically we're franchising.
Sure.
So franchising a website, it's a completely new concept. It's the idea of this. McDonald's, what did they do? They went out there, if there was only one location, we wouldn't even know who they are unless you live next door.
Sure.
So the whole idea is, by franchising websites, you're actually doing the same thing they did. You get into more communities for more foot traffic on your website,
Yep.
and you end up with more sales. So a traditional website, that may not make a lot of sense, but now if you picture, your website becomes a building. Now you're dropping it into many different communities. So over here, we have a community where, let's say I have a shoe store, I can have a sock store next door. He gets traffic, I get traffic. When they go there, they shop at both places. Next thing you know, we've increased the traffic. So it's simple math by having complementary businesses in your communities. You want to draw more attention? You drop a game next door. You have a bowling alley. If you're selling t-shirts, you can have a bowling alley and play a game of bowling, and then all of a sudden next door, you are not even next door, on the counter, you buy a t-shirt and it shows up at your doorstep.
So would you be able to bring in two different retailers, if you will, two online retailers together?
Oh yes. In fact, that's the power of it. Right now, Walmart, earlier this year, purchased a VR software company to create 3D websites, and they also filed 2 different patents for doing virtual reality with fulfillment centers behind it so that they can supply the product after people shop in 3D. So they're already doing it. Well, for the mom and pop shop, unless you can afford that kind of expensive, programmers to be on your staff and actually build it from scratch, you need something like this. But we have the advantage because we can create a whole shopping mall in about 5 minutes. Each store comes together. We drop them all in a community. In the same day, you can have a whole shopping center of 20 different stores that can now compete with the big retailer.
That's incredible. And like you said, it's not just selling product, but they can have a whole gaming experience if they want to.
Yes.
While they're shopping, just like somebody they're shopping, but they want to do something to distract themselves for a while, and then they're back to shopping.
And we even open up the world beyond that, because we can do museums. You can actually have reenactments created in animation. You can have, the world is open. You can have education where you're actually working with 3D models of stuff, highlighting over parts, and it tells you what it is, and comes apart and assembles, and we can have all kinds of things that are built. So what my tool does is it opens up this whole universe of 3D browsing. You can actually go in there and you can create what you need to do to sell your business, to sell your products, to show off your merchandise.
Wow. We got about 15 seconds. What is it that you want them to know before we go?
Well, first of all, WalkTheWeb is for everyone to go browsing and enjoy the sites, but at the same time, we're raising $800,000 to turn our prototype into a commercial product, and that'll really put us into the globe.
Fantastic.
So thank you very much.
Listen, it is our pleasure. I know that our viewers really appreciate the information that you've given us, and thank you so much for all that you're doing.
Thank you.
Another example of someone's passion making the world better. I'm Tom Terrific. This is the Villain Crusher, and we will be right back.